Welcome everyone to the Best Damn Podcast. I am your host, John Keane. As always, I would like to thank you guys for joining me. I ask that you please add, follow, check us out, Instagram, Facebook, Best Damn Podcast, Twitter, The Real Best Damn, and wherever you're watching from, whether, Facebook, either one of the pages, any of the YouTube channels, please make sure to like, share, comment, let me know what you think, and subscribe and follow and all that good stuff. Also, guys, if you would like to book a personal tarot reading, you can text me 513-393-2296 or email therealbestdampodcast@gmail.com. And I do want to drop a couple little of announcements here before I jump into this. Today we're going to be talking about black magic in the masses. And quite obviously, anybody that has really done their research on how magic works, whether you practice or not, I think that this would probably be a good one to kind of hip yourself to, because a lot of us are unconsciously manifesting and attracting shit into our lives. A lot of us are unconsciously manifesting and attracting bad stuff, negative stuff into our lives and onto other people's lives. And once you understand kind of how that works, I feel like that's why it's incredibly important to know how that works. That way you're not bringing bullshit down on yourself or down on anybody else for that matter. I do want to ask everybody, please join me over on patreon.com, Best Damn Podcast Official. We will be doing a live, uncensored, private show for the patrons over there on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So everybody check it out, Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I know this is like a super, super early video for me. I usually don't do videos this early at all, so I'll be surprised if we get very many people tune in. So if you catch us on the flip side, if you haven't, so we do have like free levels for the patrons as well. So, and I have content that you guys can watch as well. I'll always have stuff, for free for everybody as well. So looks like we're going good here. I really wanted to kind of just test out the connection. And on Sunday, we're going to be jumping into the Revelation series. I got this whole new series. We're going to be breaking down the Bible, actually. The book of Revelations. We're going to start with the 7 seals, the trumpets, and we're going to do some updated videos on that. I feel like it's been a long time since I've really done deep dives into biblical texts. I know I do a lot of the occult now and tarot videos and all of that, but we're going to kind of go old school on this one. We're going to really look at the book of Revelations, and we're going to show, and not this new agey fucking nonsense. I swear, guys, everywhere I go, it doesn't matter what platform I hop on, and I know that numerology-wise, last year was like a 7-year, and this year's an 8-year, so 7s are like really spiritual years. So we've seen a lot of people really step into awareness and step into spirituality and step into their power, but it's all this kind of new age, love and light, fucking garbage, nonsense. I did a video, a week ago, is new age spirituality a psyop? And I believe absolutely it is. Not only is it taking you face first into the new world order, the one world agenda, and you're doing it willingly, right? You're like running for the finish line. It's like, it's crazy. It's turning people into docile little bitches, basically, And I'm not saying that different practices and stuff like that, practicing manifestations and affirmations and all of the stuff that goes along with it isn't good, A lot of that stuff is incredibly useful and incredibly powerful, but it's important to understand that we live in a duality. We live in a duality. This physical reality will cease to exist without negativity. That is how we live in the physical. That distortion is matter. Darkness is matter. That's why Satan, Hasatan, is the god of this world, right? Because he is the god of the lesser. He's the god of the lower. He is the god of the reflection, the reflecting god, right? The warrior god. Anytime you see the stories of the two brothers, Enki and Enlil, the Lord Commander Enlil, he is the warrior god, or you'll also hear a lot of the variations of his name be like Nog or Naga, right? Which, is a serpent god, but it's also a warrior, is what it means as well. And then the other one, which would be, Lucifer. And it's good to see you too, Shelly. Nice to see everybody, man. Make sure to hit that thumbs up wherever you're watching from. And the other one that we have of those two brothers is the enlightening God, what we would call Lucifer. So, people are buying right in, man. They're buying right into the agenda. And I don't really know anymore if, I don't have much hope for humanity when it comes to this. I feel like I can only state it so many times and kind of push it out there over and over to people, like the father of Freemasonry, the modern day father of Freemasonry, Albert Pike, who was the Grand Master over all of North America, right? He wrote a letter to his friend Mazzini in 1871 titled The Three World Wars, and that final world war, which you are already in, the Third World War has already started, it's a social cataclysm. A social cataclysm where they pit the nihilist and the atheist against Christianity, and they pit the Muslim Arabic world against the political state of Israel. And this is to wear everybody down to the point of complete physical, mental, and moral exhaustion, and then mutually destroy each other, right? And this is what we've seen. And I believe it started about 7 years ago. This year is going to be a big year, 2024, not just because it's a year of the 8 when it comes to numerology. We know that 8 is an incredibly divine number. And I said this before, like, this is the year of the underdog. If you were on the downside, that 8 it's a loop. What goes up comes down in the 8, right? So it's like a bounce back energy. So if you were like on the downslope last year, you will definitely be, probably on the up and up this year in 2024. You're going to see a big focus as well on finances and money, because 8 is a number associated with money. So people are going to be focused on their bread this year, and that's how it works. Those are the energies that we have at planet Earth, and that's how everything works. We call it soul luminescence or star in a jar. Everything, and that's why the 7 main planets, which are they correlate to the 7 colors of the rainbow, which is the covenant with God, the 7 days of the week, the 7 chakras, right? Solar plexus being the sun, which is your inner universe, right? Remember, universe is you inverted. We are a projection of these energies. That light is projecting through this prism, or this collective third eye that we call planet Earth, right? Earth, Ea, right? And Earth actually is the heart, right? It's an anagram. If you take the letters of Earth and rearrange them, you get the word heart, right? And Ea, the Lord of the Earth, is one of those two brothers. He was the Lord of the Water, or Poseidon, and he changed his name to Enki, right? From the Lord of the Water to the Lord of the Earth. So, and kind of looking into, the black magic, we're going to go ahead and get into that now. I feel like it's, well, let me finish my thought. It's right now, if you go, and I'm posting tarot videos if you guys want to watch. I'm doing the daily reads again this year. I post them on TikTok, Facebook, and I try to post them here on YouTube also. I watch a lot of content, especially tarot and astrology and shit like that. Or I try to. I feel like everybody's become a tarot reader or an astrologist or whatever, and 99% of them aren't even really that good, It's because it's become so trendy now. And we've seen this too. I feel like around 2016-ish, 2017, which, think about it, that was another one of those 8 years or whatever, or 7 years. We've seen, the 7 with the trumpets, right? Trumpets, judgment, all of that. We've seen the 7-year and spirituality bounce back really big back then. And that was where we had the first of the major eclipses over the United States, or the darkness cast at midday over Babylon. That 7-year period of tribulation, really, which is, we're rounding the corner now. 2024, this will be the finale. You know, this will be the finale. We're now crossing the finish line. We're walking our ass into the Aquarian age, the age of Aquarius. It's about social structure. There's going to be a lot less about the individual and more about the collective, right? And remember, the Illuminati card game, the New World Order, it's collectivism. That's the name of the game, is collectivism. So when you're jumping into these collective conscious groups, right, and you're failing to embrace your own unique individuality, right, you're playing right into the hand of the powers that be, and you're allowing yourself to be ruled over by the figurehead or the character that is on top of that pyramid, on top of that collective. And when they assassinate that collective, you will go down smoking with it. And that's the whole name of the game, is to get you into one of these collective groups, because it is a pyramid scheme, right? It is a pyramid scheme. You know, and the New Age is probably the biggest collective we have going right now. You can go on any platform and you'll get bombarded with that type of content, you know. And like I said, most of it's trash. Most of it are people that have never studied this stuff or studied it at any length. They have no biblical background or anything, you know. They're just using fucking keywords and trigger words and whatever that they've heard regurgitated online a bunch of times, you know. So it seems like we're falling right for it, and because of that, because of our lack of knowledge, and remember the Bible says, for lack of knowledge surely my people will perish, right? And he's talking about the last days, or the end of days. So us lacking that knowledge, we're setting ourselves up for failure. We're setting ourselves up for disappointment. We're setting ourselves up for the woo, basically, right? Because now we are stepping in, and as we increase awareness, we know knowledge is increasing and all of that. That's also prophesied, you know, for this apocalypse, right? Which means the revealing, the great revealing. Everything's being revealed. Spiritual energies are increasing, and as your spiritual intensity increases, your magnetism increases, and as we accelerate, right, towards the end of this age of Pisces, which the Piscean age is an age of water, right? It's the fish, it's two fish, right? So it's this dualistic, religion-based, era built on emotion, right? That's why we see this final world war and all the religions kind of coming to a head, and what you see going on with Israel and Hamas and all of that it's kind of the grand finale. You know, World War III is like the final show for the Piscean age. It's like we're seeing all of it wrapping up now, you know. And we're learning our lesson, I think, about religion, okay? And I'm not saying that religion isn't beneficial to some folks, because it very much is. A lot of people, and all the religious books are the Bibles of religion, like the Quran and Zohar and Holy Bible, and all of those texts, man, they are basically cookbooks for spiritual enlightenment or ascension if you read them right and you know what you're actually reading, right? And you know how to actually put it in practice, and you have the eyes to see the code that is within that, right? Because this is a matrix, so there is code basically embedded in everything that we speak, everything that we write, everything that we see, because consciousness produces consciousness. This is from the micro to the macro, at the biggest scale, the universal scale, even in the smallest atom or the smallest cell, the entire universe is replicated. It's mirrored in everything. That's why we see these same stories of creation play out over and over and over in all the different religions, over and over and over in all the different texts, over and over and over, right? That's why we see the same kind of archetypes and how they correlate to the astrological wheel and so on and so forth. It's because it's us. You know, it's us. It's the fabric of us. It's the, we are making all of this. We are co-creators within this place. If you want to ask, who is God? What is God? It's you, right? It's you, and that's why every story about Jesus and all of that is essentially, referring to you. It's meant to be read in a first person, and a lot of people don't like don't like to hear this, but Jesus wasn't a Christian. You know, Christianity did not exist in the time of Jesus. Jesus was most definitely a Jew. And his intent was not to create a religion. You know, not at all. Matter of fact, he was trying to break the spell of religion. I mean, you even think about the etymology of the word. Legion. What is a legion? Right? Legion is demons. Right? It's a group of demons. You know? And it's like we don't want to believe that we've been duped, because we get into our egos and we're like, no, not me, right? I'm too smart for that. I'm too knowledgeable for that. I couldn't possibly, you know, be okie doked by this or that, or, you know, and it's like, it's nonsense. It's foolish, because when we really, you know, if we really had humility and we're honest when we looked at ourselves in the mirror, we would, you know, and that's somebody who's truly pursuing enlightenment or awareness or whatever, you know. You know, they have to be honest with the fact that we've all been had. We've all been got a million times over, and you'll probably still be deceived multiple times, you know. We're exiting the age of deception, the age of darkness, and we're entering into the age of light and love, right? And this light brings enlightenment, okay? But there's no shortcut to enlightenment. There's no shortcut to it, you know? A lot of people think that there's going to be, you know, some easy road to do it, but there's not. You know, there's not. It's going to take all of us understanding, like in all of us understanding that it takes self-mastery within each and every one of us. And we got to stop using the New Age beliefs, for one, to reinforce our own selfish ideologies and, you know, beliefs about self and the world and all of that. I think I pointed this out in the New Age PsyOps show, but I'll kind of brush over it again. You know, and one thing that we've taken away from religion is all about, you know, charity and giving to others and all of that. And what we're seeing in this shift with the spirituality is self-love. And self-love is incredibly important. Don't get me wrong. It's fucking incredibly important to have self-love, to have boundaries and all of those things. But in the same token, what you're seeing is people manipulate, bend, and twist that self-love and use it to just be selfish, self-centered, self-absorbed, right? Oh, I have boundaries. Oh, I have self-love, so I can no longer give to anybody. I can no longer, you know what I mean? It's like, people are fucked up. They're fucked up, and they'll use spirituality to justify, just like they did with religion. Okay? This is just a new religion you're being indoctrinated into, you know. All the Rosicrucianism, Gnosticism, all of that, the mysticism. This is where we're going. And this is Kemeticism, right? This is the ancient Egyptian, you know, Kemet religion, you know, and we're all being indoctrinated into this. This is a mass indoctrination, you know, and because and I believe the definition of black magic is supernatural powers or forces that are used for evil or selfish purposes. Supernatural powers or forces that are used for evil or selfish purposes. Now think about that, right? If you're going around claiming everything in love, and you know, anytime we read anything written by Aleister Crowley, do you not see the word love regurgitated all the way through it? Yes, you do. Book of Law, Book of Lies, right? We've done videos on all of this, you know. So don't think just because they're using the word love or they're using the word light that means that that's all there is to it. Right? This is why individuality is so important, and having morals and principles and all of this and standing for something, you know, is incredibly important, because if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Okay? But we're using this this spirituality as an excuse now to justify being selfish, self-absorbed. And that was the problem with the world before, was nobody's world was bigger than their own self, right? A lot of people think all the time they're so self-conscious about how they look and the things they say and what they believe and what they post online. It's like because they believe that, other people are going to judge them or see them in a bad light. And it's like, dude, nobody gives a fuck about nobody else. People, you're not that important. People don't pay attention to what anybody else is doing because they're only worried about themselves. And that's the truth. And we see the whole love and light shit as well being used for people as another excuse for people to bury their heads in the sand. Oh, I'm spiritual now, so now I can't, I can't watch, listen, or anything to, with something that's negative or dark, right? Any darkness, I'm not, and which means they're not doing they're not working on their shadow side, right? They're not healing their trauma. They're not doing the actual work. They're not doing the actual fucking healing at all, because they're making an excuse just like they did before, right? Before they were all woke and enlightened, right? They just fucking buried their head in the sand and cowered it out of knowing what was going on in the world and used it as an excuse to just stay self-absorbed, right? Into their own shit. Now they're using spirituality just like they use it to, before it was ambition. You got to be ambitious, which means selfish in this world. And then now it's self-love to be selfish and self-centered in this world. And now it's like, instead of only being worried about self and burying your head in the sand because you're scared, right? And you don't know anything. Now it's, I don't want negativity in my vibe, so I'm going to bury my head in the sand. Do you see what's happening here? Do you see what's going on here? You're all being spelled, right? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, right? The power of words, right? Without words, without language, we wouldn't be able to consciously communicate with ourselves. We wouldn't have a language for communication, right? That's why with the Tower of Babel, when we were thrown down, right? When we tried to, climb up to heaven and bust God's ass, back in the day when everybody was on this shit before, what did God do? Right? He confused the tongues of everybody and changed all the languages, right? Split us all up and put us in, different areas of the world and gave us different languages, right? To divide us. Words are powerful, buddy. Words are powerful. Remember, the power of the tongue has the power of life or death. You can speak blessings or curses into your life, and you are, because you're a piece of the infinite, right? And that's proven scientifically by the Fibonacci sequence, the golden ratio. You are a fractal, a fragment of the creator. You are a co-creator, right? You're a powerful manifester in your life. Everything in your life, you're consciously calling to you, right? You're repelling, projecting, and attracting and manifesting consciously all the time or unconsciously. Most of you unconsciously. So everything in your life is because you are compatible with it energetically or on a frequency level. Or you have consciously or unconsciously called it into your life or manifested it through your words, your thoughts, your actions, your feelings. Remember, your feelings are emotions. Your emotions are energy in motion, right? That's what's sending out the signal. That's why when you see people like Abraham Hicks and shit, she tells you to follow the good feeling, right? Because it's pursuing that good feeling that boosts up, gives you the momentum towards the things that you actually want to attain in life. And that's why whenever we look at Rosicrucianism and the Philosopher's Stone and all of that, which is your pineal gland, and we're converting the iron into gold, what we're actually doing, what we're actually doing is taking all of our darkness, taking all of our distortion, taking all of our carnality, our lower, our lesser stuff about ourselves, and we're transmuting that into higher magic, into higher love, and what it does, it amplifies your aura, right? It cleans out the channel, puts you in alignment in your chakra system, so your chakras light up, Right? Whenever people want to hex you and curse you, a lot of times they go after your sacral chakra, your root chakra, because your chakras balance out. So if you hit you on the bottom chakra, it fucks up your top chakra too. So if I want to blast out your third eye or your crown, I'll go for your sacral, your root. Right? That's what I'll actually bind when I go after you, right? Right? So that's why you see such a concerted effort through television and propaganda and shit based on violence, gore, fear, sex, all of that, right? Because they're trying to bust your sacral. They're trying to bust your root, you know? So that they can do that, it's going to have the effect on the top side as well, right? Because we're balanced, you know? That's how it actually works, you know? That's why they're always attacking that part. If you can take the foundation out from underneath somebody, they have nothing to stand on, you know. That's why it always talks about in the Bible building your foundation on rock and not sand, you know. And a lot of us are building it on sand because we don't have a firm footing on what we believe, our morals, our values, our beliefs, none of that. And that is actually what religion did provide for a lot of folks, was that foundation or basis of beliefs, right? It gave them a doctrine, right, or an outline or a principle of how they were going to pursue life, how they were going to pursue their goals, how they were going to attain things, how they were going to bring stuff that they wanted into their existence and their being. So when you see people that look incredibly successful, like people that are Christians and stuff like that, that's why. It's just because they've got it all figured out or their God's so much stronger. It's because they're walking according to principle, right? And there's no such thing, in my opinion, as good karma. You're supposed to be an honorable person. You're supposed to be a kind, charitable, giving, loving soul. That's your job as a human being, is to serve the rest of humanity. That's why it's, thy will be done, right? Thy will be done. And you see in the occult, it's do what thou wilt, right? It's a selfish, self-centered principle, you know. And we're falling for it. We're hexing ourselves, we're cursing ourselves, we're binding ourselves by buying into belief systems that aren't necessarily built on a solid or true foundation. They're not built on a basis of truth, right? And remember, you know, we're trying to take spirituality here and like scientifically prove it. And like, when do we start caring like what academia thought about our spiritual beliefs, right? Science is man's attempt at understanding the unexplainable, right? And some of it can be explained. But it's like, remember, the base word of science, CN, is a Latin word. It means to divide, right? To separate, because everything is one, right? Everything is one. It's all connected. Remember, the universe, the all is mind, right? And we're all part of that universal mind. And it's thought, man, right, that actually starts the conscious creative process, that actually gives us the ability to communicate said language, which is the word, right? That way we can actually talk to God or talk to ourselves or communicate with the divine, okay? So any type of process, like I said, with the Rosicrucianism or the alchemy, psychonauts, anything like that, it's always about first controlling the thoughts, mastering one's thoughts. Why? Because if your thoughts are fucking all over the place, well, and you have no control over your thoughts, and that's why it's like, you know, take your every thought captive, right? Take every thought captive, and it talks about praying ceaselessly, right? Why? Because then you're directing thought, right? You're consciously directing thought. You're not just spinning in circles and spinning your wheels and like, you know, and like allowing people to push thoughts into your brain or absorb shit that you don't really want or has no real good benefit or purpose, right? When you're doing things with intention, like watching things with intention that are going to bring enlightenment or educate you or you know, gratify you in a positive spiritual way, you know, you're being intentional about that, and you're going to see more results than when if you're just flipping through a fucking television, right? And remember the live vision, right? And that brainwashing box of yours, you know, and just allowing it to program you by the programs you're watching, you know. Then you're having your reality, your thoughts dictated to you. You know, you're thinking about Clorox bleach and fucking Tide and, you know, all the different commercials, you know, in this consumerist society that they're pumping and propagating down your neck all day long, you know, or that sex and gore and violence and all of that, right, which is attacking your sacral, right? That way it can flip side, bust your third eye, you know, keep you shut down, keep you silent. And it's like, from thoughts too, then it goes to our emotions, right? That is our energy and emotion. That energetic or emotional field is what actually creates the magnetism for our aura, right? So it starts with the thoughts. The thoughts are the ones sending the commands, right? That's sending the commands. The thought is the first step of creation, then it translates into the emotion, and then the emotion is actually the magnet, right, within the auric field that brings things to us or pushes things away from us, right? We either attract or we repel because we are electromagnetic beings, okay? And if we don't have control over our emotions, and think about this, every time, and this is why MK Ultra and all that stuff is built, is trauma-based mind control, right? Why? Because every time you experience something traumatic, your brain, which fires on electrical synapses, right? These little electrical impulses going back and forth, right? It fragments at the area of the brain where the traumatic experience took place. It fragments. So one becomes two. It divides, right? You're fractured, fragmenting. And a lot of us have become so fragmented, so fractured as people that we're just a goddamn wreck. You know, in the way that we think, we're real scatterbrained, very short-term memory, right? This is a major way that they attack us. This is why people have the memory of a goldfish today, you know. It's because they've been, you know, traumatized to that point through this, you know, the MK Ultra trauma-based mind control, you know, through their televisions and everything else. And when that happens, we create altars within our minds. Wherever you have those separations, those divisions, those altars within your minds, that's where demons are able to enter, right? That's where we get attachments, if you will. Whenever we're fragmented, we're attached to something, that traumatic event. We're attached to a memory, we're attached to a feeling, we're attached to a person, we're attached to an experience, right? And that attachment creates an astral cord or a connection. Think of your third eye, or your mind, your brain as like an octopus, right? There's all these things coming off. Right? All these lines and connections, everywhere where you're fragmented in here, every traumatic experience, every traumatic vision, every traumatic sound, every trauma, a fragment. The road splits from one, being unified within yourself, right? If thine eye be single, then thy whole body be filled with light, right? That's from the Book of Thomas, I believe, Nag Hammadi, right? Then we split into two. We become fragmented. We have altars created. That's why you see, and through those altars, we are attached to that thought, that person, that experience, and we're feeding it energy. So we're deferring our energetic power. We're deferring our co-creative power to the altars, to the things that we're attached to. And this is, think about this. Like somebody you like broke up with fucking 2 years ago or something. You still think about them all the time. You're still pining over them and whatever. You want to know why that kind of shit happens? Where you can't get people out of your head or where you can't get over certain things? It's because they have traumatized you in some way. Right? They've traumatized you in such a way that you're still feeding energy to them. They're still pulling on your energy. Every time you think of them, you're sending them energy. Good or bad. Every time that and you see people talk about the evil eye and things like that as well, right? And you can believe this or not believe this. It's totally up to you. But what the evil eye actually means is somebody that they're focusing their conscious intent on you. Yes, there is actual practices where we do candle magic and different things of that nature to focus negativity onto a person. So that's very much, you know, going on. Every time you watch something in the news, the media, anything, right, you are being spelled, you know, and you're being brainwashed. And that is a form of black magic as well. You know, because they're speaking those words over you, showing you the symbols. And remember, a symbol is an energetic representation of a frequency, right? A symbol is a frequency that The reason we use symbols or symbolism is because we don't have an adequate definition or explanation or understanding of the energetic frequency that's being represented by said symbol, if that makes sense, right? So when you see like an all-seeing eye, that symbol, right? The reason that that symbol's so powerful is because it's beyond our comprehension of something being able to have all-encompassing awareness. So in order for us to explain it or translate it to one another, we have to put some things into symbols and symbolism. And that symbol, whether you pick it up or not, you can be totally asleep, totally unaware of shit that's going on, but your subconscious will actually pick it up. See, your subconscious, your lower half, your darkness, is actually storing all of the information that your conscious is picking up. So your light is perceiving things through your eyes, and remember, the retinas, the iris, right? You can actually see a person's soul by reading their eyes. If they don't have glasses or contacts, you can. You've heard of like the line of light and all that, right? And see if a person has essentially overcome their cocoon, right? Meaning their soul wounds, right, from previous lives, if you believe in reincarnation and all of that. But through the eyes, right, it is a reflection of the soul, and that's why they say the eyes are the window to the soul. So we're taking in all this imagery, right, and these are electrical signals that are being interpreted by our brain, and these symbols that we're seeing, right, we're picking that up, and it's downloading into your lower half. It's downloading into your subconscious. So whether you're aware of it or not, you're ingesting it. Okay? You're ingesting it by everything that you're watching, everything that you're consuming. And this goes all across the board. You know, that's why the Bible talks about certain types of foods and everything. You're not supposed to even eat certain shit. Right? I forget the name of the it's called Dietrich, or I'm trying to think of the name of it. I've got it wrong. I know that's not what it is. But essentially what it is like this essence that's in pork and everything. And it's like, it's death, right? It brings death. We have like a higher number and a lower number. I've talked about this before, like the X and the Y and the different solar energies. And as that bottom number gets bigger and bigger, that's what and eclipses the top number. So if you can increase your light and your awareness to the point of pushing for transfiguration, like Christ, by staying in the Christ mind, staying in the Christ spirit, that lower number eventually catches up to the top, right? And as that happens, that's when we start to age. That's when we start to die, right? That's the aging process, is by the foods we ingest, which is in pork and alcohol and curse words and cemeteries and all of this, right? It's like shit you don't even think that would be detrimental to you. You're like, oh, well, I just went in a cemetery. Yeah, that's why, you know, when people want to, you know, do some shit to you, you know, with black magic, they'll go get graveyard dirt and shit, you know, because it has a power. It's got that energy. It's a death energy, you know, and as your death energy outgrows your light energy or your life force, right, you begin to age. You begin to be depleted of your life force because that death energy is consuming your life force, right? Thinking about the evil eye, whenever you're thinking about something negative, like in so many people, and especially women, dude, I swear they're really bad for it with their physical appearance and shit, especially they, because, you know, society pushes this ideology of how women are supposed to look and all that through magazines and all that shit, which is total fucking bullshit and nonsense. So a lot of them have this body dysmorphia where they don't feel comfortable in their own selves, and they'll say things, they'll speak it, right? Like, I'm ugly, or I'm fat, or da-da-da-da-da. Like, it's like you're literally like speaking that over yourself. You're literally calling that to you. And if you're in that energetic state, other people pick up on it too. You wonder why you're being treated a certain way. Well, and why people aren't valuing you? It's because you're not valuing yourself. You're putting out the energy of devalued. You know, like you have devalued yourself. You know, you have worn the label, right? You know, in a label, is a mask. It's a persona. It's a demon. Right? You've put that, you've hung that around your neck and said, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm this, I'm that, right? And you're bringing energy to that. You know, you're feeding it every day. Every time you speak about it, every time you think about it. And when another person communicates with you, they pick up on it too. You know? That's all they're getting is you're sending off this big fucking, you're blowing this trumpet that says this to all the people around you. So then when, you know, males come around, they're thinking the same thing because you're giving them that energy. You're consciously communicating that to them, you know, unless they're just, you know, super aware and they're able to kind of see past the mask, you know. And then, you know, you hear things about a lack mentality as well. People that live in total fucking poverty all the time. You know, it's because of the way that they perceive money, right? They're cursing their funds. They're cursing their money. A lot of people think that money is evil. Right? Money is the root of all evil, blah, 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 right? These are people with a lack mentality. Money is a tool, right? Money is a tool. And money is actually a good thing. When you have money, you're supposed to use it to give to others, to donate and help the poor and, you know, like help push up your fellow man. You know, it's not just meant to just be blown all on you all the time, right? Then it is evil, you know? Then it is evil because you're not sowing any good seeds with it, you know? But a lot of people, because of their perception of money and seeing it as evil, they don't have it. They're telling the universe, I don't want money. Money's bad, money's evil, I want to be in poverty, right? You're speaking that curse over yourself by the way that you think about it, by the way that you perceive it, and by the way that you speak about it. You know. Not just that, when it comes to money and our looks and things like that, say that you're mad at somebody or you have unforgiveness in your heart towards somebody, right? And you hear like different things in the Bible that says, judge not lest ye be judged. With that same measure, you know. The reason it says those things is because how we treat another, right, is how we're actually treating ourselves. So we're putting that out and it comes back to us. There's always an energetic wave, an energetic kickback from everything that we do, right? That's why it's stupid to fucking put negativity out on other people and put curses on other people because you actually just get double back. Because you're not just cursing them, but you're cursing them and you. So you're paying double the karma. You're collecting karmic debt, you know, karmic debt. So say you're incredibly upset over somebody, you know, they've done you wrong, they've done you dirty, and you refuse to forgive this person, right? And I've said this before, unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting it to kill the person that you're mad at, you know. It's like drinking poison and expecting it to kill the person you're upset with. It's not going to happen, you know. Yeah, you may hold that person hostage, and I have people in my life to this day that, hey, nice to see you. Happy New Year to you too. I appreciate everybody for watching too. Please make sure to hit that like, everybody in the chat and stuff over on YouTube and Facebook, and you know, make sure to subscribe if you have not. But you know, you think you're holding somebody hostage, right, by not forgiving them. You're like, oh, I'm going to hold you hostage to your guilt. Right? But actually you're holding yourself hostage, right? By creating that resentment towards another person, right? You're creating resentment with yourself. You're not at one with yourself. You're not at one with the situation, right? You're not healed. That's a trauma now, right? That you're carrying around with you. You're dragging that darkness around with you. You're dragging that distortion around with you, right? And not only that is you're sending out the signal to the universe that one, and this is the truth of it is people that don't forgive other people, the reason they do that is because they're probably 10 times more, they're either one of two things, okay? They're either one, extremely hard on themselves. They never forgive themselves for mistakes that they make, you know? They have no compassion or empathy or understanding when it comes to themselves. Their mistakes, their shortcomings, their flaws, and all this because they don't truly love themselves. They truly don't embrace their individuality and uniqueness. It's disingenuine is what it is. They're not genuine with who they are, and not confident within, their own being. They're not in their power. They don't know how to go in, or within. And because of that, they punish others. It's like, oh, well, whether that person's being genuine or not, whether that person done something heinous or not, it's like understanding that everything happens for a reason, understanding that no matter what they did to you, you called it to you. You called that experience to you. Whether you think you did or not, you did. Right? Whether it was a life lesson that needed to be learned, a soul lesson that needed to be healed and overcome, a soul contract that needed to be broken. It was part of your tikkun, right? That you needed to overcome to elevate in this life. You brought that to you. And a lot of times when we meet people, and I've said this before as well, like, if we do it when we're lonely, when we're broken, when we're sad, when we're horny, whatever, It's like, that's like, and everybody's done it. So if you want to sit and act like you haven't, I don't give a fuck, that's on you. You're not doing nothing but dicking yourself on that one. I mean, I've done it, but we've all done it. We like got with people when we were down because we thought it was going to make us feel better to have someone in our life, and instead of healing ourselves, being able to be alone and, enjoy our own company and all of that, we call somebody into our life and we think that they're great. We're like, damn, this person's great, They love me when I'm at my lowest. But think about the vibe, the frequency that you met them on. That's what attracted that person in. So something inside of them was also fucked up and broken. Or you wouldn't have been able to reel them in, when you were at that low, fucked up point or in that fucked up mindset. So something when their energy was off too. That's why it's so important to get in, a high state of consciousness, a high energy before you start dating and shit. You're just doing it because you're horny. You're just doing it because you're lonely. You're gonna get what you pay for. So now you want to be mad because this motherfucker cheated on you and you don't want to forgive him. Now you want to be mad because they're a drug addict. You don't want to forgive them. Now you want to be mad because they didn't have a job or whatever. You don't want to forgive them. Now you want to be mad because she lied all the time. You don't want to forgive her. It's stupid. It's like you brought that into your fucking life, you idiot. Don't go, trying to get in relationships when you're fucking horny and you're fucking lonely and you know what I mean? Or you're not okay with yourself and you're not healed with yourself. You called that in, and now you want to hold this person hostage to the fact that they feel guilty or have remorse for about something. If somebody's trying to apologize to you, and this is a thing I see a lot of people do, closure is a luxury in this day and age, right? Especially when it comes to relationships. If you have somebody that's trying to apologize to you, whether you want to forgive them or not, go ahead and forgive them for yourself. Release it. Don't try to hold them hostage to the guilt you want them to have. You want to punish them for treating you a certain way. It's like you're only punishing yourself, and you, my friend, are also you're setting the standard for your life as well. So when you fuck up in a relationship, the same thing is going to come back to you. That's going to be your karma, whether you catch it in this life or the next. Nobody will be forgiving to you. You're going to know this after you pass on to the other side, too. You're going to carry the shame of the things that you've held against other people because you're also holding it against yourself because we're all connected. We're all one. And I know a lot of people don't see it that way, but it's true. And then when we focus ourselves on these negative-ass mindsets about people, and like people jealous and fucking haters and shit, and I have so many of them, by the way, people that literally watch me because they hate me. Swear to God, they watch me because they hate me. They wait for me to do something that they can judge because it makes them feel better about themselves, right? And you see, there's a lot of people in our society that are like this now. They're like this now. They are weak people, is what they are. The reason they're judgmental is because, for one, they, like I said, they're either incredibly hard on themselves or they're not hard on themselves at all. They believe they do no wrong, and it makes them feel superior to others by pointing out everybody else's flaws because it redirects the focus away from their own, right? It's a very manipulative tactic. It's a narcissistic tactic is what it is. But these are flawed, broken, fucked up people that do these kind of things. And we all do it from time to time. We've all done it. You know, to say we haven't would be a lie. But once you're conscious of it, once you're aware of it, to continue to do it, you know, it's just fucking insanity. You know? It's like, why would you want to continuously, and I see a lot of people in different religions too, Muslim, Christianity, da 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 da, you know, that think they're so pious because of the religion they belong to, that they go around commenting on everybody's post, that God wouldn't like that, and da 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 da. No, you know what God wouldn't like? Is your bitch ass hating on everybody. That's what God wouldn't like, you know? And by you going around judging everyone else, all you're actually doing is showing that, you know, there's judgment passed on yourself. You know, you've passed judgment on yourself because what we see in other people, that's why we do that, by the way. Whenever we feel so compelled to point something out in someone else, it's because it's something about ourselves that we absolutely hate and we see it reflected in the world, right? We have to call it out because we hate it within our own self. It reminds us of us. You know, and we have such disgust for ourselves and unforgiveness for ourselves that we treat others that way. You know, I literally have fucking, you know, people say the shittiest, craziest things to me, and you know what? I usually tell them to suck my dick whenever they do, or whatever, you know, because it's like, you know, I'm not gonna even play into that shit. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck what you think about me. I'm not here to impress you. I'm not here. Your approval of me means nothing to me. You ain't shit to me. You know, all I care about is if I'm okay with me. I mean, I hope you gain something from this kind of stuff that I'm doing, but how I'm living my life is none of your fucking business. It's got nothing to do with how skillful I am at what I do. You know, that's like saying a fucking person that does taxes or something, you know, because they go home and drink beer, they're not a good accountant. That's fucking retarded, you know, but people try to do anything they can to disqualify you, right, from being righteous or worthy or whatever, and it's really jealousy and envy. This is why they do this to you guys. I hope you know that. Right? Those fucking haters in your life that are always pointing out your flaws and misfortunes, for one, they feed on misery. And you can see this a lot of times on social media. You post all day long. Nobody will comment one thing. And then the first time you post and be like, I got my heart broke today. You can see the opportunist and shit start chiming in, right? Like, if you need somebody to talk to, you know, all right, message me, right? The little weasels and snakes come out because they see an opportunity to capitalize on your, you know, your misery. You know, they know that you're weak, you're vulnerable. That's how a lot of people get taken advantage of, you know, because they tell their business online and somebody sees it and like, or, you know, people take that as an open invitation to give their fucking opinion, you know, and criticize and judge you and shit like that. You know, so I would tell you to not post that stuff, but I'm not going to tell you to not do what you want to do because it's you. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. But just understand that those people, when they come calling, they come knocking, they come saying that shit, what their true motivation is. You know, and I'm sure most of you are aware of it. But if you're not, you should be. You know. Because all those people that only want to chime in whenever something bad happens, it's because they're actually, it makes them feel better about their own life, their own misfortunes, their own lack, to see you in lack. You know. And remember, having a lack mentality or a lack mindset produces lack. We're cursing ourselves. You know, oh, I can never find a good man. You're declaring that. That's a declaration. You're stating that. You're speaking that. You're cursing yourself. You're hexing yourself. You're hexing your love life. You're hexing your relationships. You know. I'm so broke right now. Yes, you are. Right? You guys ever seen that video where they say God's answer to everything is yes? Yes. Right? I'm broke. Yes, you are. I'm ugly. Yes, you are. I'm happy. Yes, you are. I'm rich. Yes, you are. I'm successful. Yes, you are. The answer to everything in the universe is yes. God's answer is always yes. You know, you continuously are manifesting everything within your life. God agrees with you, no matter what you're saying, no matter what you're doing. You know, He agrees with you. So, you know, if you want to continuously pound yourself with these curses and shit by thinking shitty thoughts, having shitty emotions, not being able to control emotions, by having these attachments to other people, by watching shit that has been propagated just to destroy you, attack your sacral, attack your root, right? Then you're going to continuously get these things. If you're going to continue to associate with people that have nothing but jealousy, envy, hatred, you can continue to associate with people that have nothing but an ill intention to benefit off of your misfortune, to capitalize on your misery, that take joy in your pain. You're going to continue to be under the hex and oppression of society and the world. You know, conscious creators, conscious manifestors understand this. This ain't no new agey fucking nonsense. You know? Like, sometimes we're mad. Sometimes we're upset. Emotions are real. That's what it means to be human. You're allowed to buck back at somebody if they want to fuck with you. It's your right to defend yourself and protect yourself. Right? I know a lot of people don't believe that. Turn the other cheek. Well, you turn the other cheek, you're going to slap that one too. You know? Turn the other cheek means to walk in the other fucking direction. Don't fuck with them. You know, if they're showing you over and over that they can't be trusted, they're showing you over and over that they want nothing but negative and bad and shit for you. Stop fooling with them. You know, don't give them chance after chance after chance. You know, a lot of people get on that. They're like, oh, well, I want to be forgiving, I want to be loving, and then they get taken advantage of. They forget the one person, themselves. They forget to love themselves. They forget to find value in themselves. They're too busy trying to placate everybody else. You know? And it's beautiful. I'm telling you, you're a great soul if you're one of those people. I used to be like that. I used to want to make sure everybody got my time. Everybody got my energy. I tried to placate to all the different people and all the different groups that watch me, and it's like, no more. You know, I would get so stressed out and so spread so thin, I have to take months off. You know, from working and shit like that. And then when I stopped working, nobody'd help me. You know what I mean? It was like I was the only one that was fucked. You know, it was like I was loving on everybody else but me. Valuing everyone else but me. That's a bad place to be, bro. You don't want to get in that spot. You know, that's a hard hole to dig yourself out of. And you're going to attack, or you're going to attract people that want to attack you when you're in that place, right? You see in empaths a lot of times attract narcissists. It's just the way it is because they're so empathetic, they're so understanding that predators look for people like that they can capitalize on, that they can take advantage of. You speak truth, John, and I am guilty of shaming you in the past. Hey, that's okay. That's okay. You're not the only one. No notification again. Yeah, I know. YouTube's ridiculous, y'all. YouTube is ridiculous. It absolutely is. So, hopefully people catch this one on the flip side. My tarot videos do alright on Facebook, but not... I mean, I got that video went viral about a month ago, but other than that, I don't know. Facebook don't seem to do, like, with this kind of content. It's like people, they have such short fucking attention spans. They can't sit down and learn nothing, or can't sit down and engage, and you know what I mean? It's like, if you don't have something under, 10 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever, it's like you're not going to be able to reach a lot of people in this day and age. And that's why, right? I already explained why, right? They're fragmented, they're fractured, they don't have the attention span. And they condition us, through Vines and all of that and shit. We've been conditioned. That's why they put shorts on everything. That's why TikTok's so popular. That's why that shit's so popular, And, you may think that those smaller pieces are easier to absorb, but they're actually not. It's your lack of attention and focus is what's actually taking place. If you You know, when we actually channel ourselves and our energy towards something and focus at it, and you know, put our focus and our intent on something, we get far more out of it than when we're scamming and skimming through. You might as well be on that television just flipping the remote when you're watching little 1 minute videos and vines and shit. You know, and I'm old, so that's why I'm calling it vines. But you know what I'm saying? You might as well just be flipping that fucking dumbass box, you know? For real. You're not doing yourself no favors, you know? And you're conditioning your brain, you're conditioning your mind, you're conditioning yourself, you know, to operate that way. That's why a lot of people can't carry on conversations or anything like that, you know. For one, a lot of people don't listen. They don't know how to listen now. They only want to speak. You know, they love the sound of their own fucking voice. I was literally in a group the other day. A person I know, I'm not even going to mention them because I don't want to give them no attention. Don't want to give them no notoriety. I love you too, man. Nice to see you. Anonymous, sorry. But I was in the group and I was like, you know, this group might as well be named after you, you know, like, might as well be you, you know, because it's like, you're literally not allowing anyone else to post any content or any opinions or anything. It's just literally like only your opinion through this whole goddamn thing. It's like, and you know, it's like you love the sound of your own fucking voice, you know, it's like, and those are people that are closed-minded for one, those kind of people, and a lot of people that don't allow people to challenge them, don't allow others' opinions and shit like that in their groups and pages and, you know, comment sections, or turn off their comments, you know, right? They're showing you their mindset right there. They think they're right about everything, right? They think that the people that watch them are dumber than them, or the people that belong to their groups or communities are dumber than them, right? And have nothing to offer, right? So they shut it off, they cut it off, and you know, they literally they love the sound of their own voice. It's that self-absorbed fucking thing we got going on, you know. You believe I would? Yeah, I would. I would. Yeah, you know, I'm telling you right now too, like, one of the good things that we can do to kind of counteract, you know, this black magic and shit that we're bringing ourselves. Remember, black magic is it's evil or selfish magic. Supernatural powers and spirituality that's evil or selfish. That's it. That's all it means. That's all it means. I know you've got the ideas of like people fucking doing moon manifestations and candles and all of this, and that is, you know, forms of it. It really is. But that's usually somebody that's far more skilled and they're not stupid with what they're doing. I won't lie, there are some people that'll put you in a jar or the freezer, and I was just talking to somebody about this the other day, about putting people in a jar or the freezer and shit. A lot of people do that now, you know, that don't know what they're doing, you know, don't care about the repercussions, or, you know, which is sad, because anytime you hex or curse somebody, a lot of times, depending on what you're trying to hex or curse them with, but say you're binding somebody, you're throwing them in the freezer, or putting them in a jar, a lot of times spirit will attack a person, and it's not direct attack on the person always. A lot of times the best way to attack a person is by attacking what they love or who they love. So that's why I never do that shit to people, because people with children and stuff, it's like you're going to end up getting a kid killed or something, you know, by trying to do that shit, because that's what's going to happen. You know, those spirits will kill their children to punish them because you put them in the freezer because you were mad they broke up with you or cheated on you or something. It's like, not a good look, not a good idea, you know. And a lot of people that really do understand the occult and understand magic and how it works, truly how it works, you know, they don't do those kind of things. Not just because they don't want the karma, because they understand how it works. And they know usually it's innocent people that get blown away by that shit. You know, when you're trying to harm another person. I'm not saying don't bind someone out of your life. You know, some people have to be. You know, but make sure you never want that person in your life again if you're going to do that. And make sure that when you're doing those kind of things that you have no ill intent up here. And no malice in your heart. You know. Because you're putting that into whatever you're creating. you're putting that, you're setting that intent. You know, and a lot of times they say, you know, whether even when you're like doing prayer and stuff, if you're all flustered and fucked up, you know, don't start asking for things. Do you think you're going to get it when you're all screwed up in your head and screwed up emotionally? No, you're going to get the fucking opposite. Shelly says there's no common sense either. There's not. There's not, you're right. There's no common fucking sense. You know, nobody has common sense this day and age. They really don't. They really don't. And I mean, I'll be honest, I've dated a lot of witches in my day, just because of the nature of what I do. You know, and you guys know, I'm kind of a dark one, you know, a dark person. I like the darker stuff because I actually use that's how I build my spiritual self up, is by dark stuff. You know, I transmute it, you know. But I pick and choose. I don't like one ugly bad stuff. But, you know, I listen to dark music and, you know, stuff like that for that reason. Because I'm taking that energy and transmuting it, you know, to build momentum for things that I want to attract and shit. You know, and I wouldn't even advise nobody to do that. You know, you gotta be really good at that, and it's blown up in my face a bunch of times too. So, most of the things I see on my phone are plain garbage anyways. That app, Snapchat, is just horrible, but I hold on to it because my friends can be found there, says Ike remotely. Yeah, Snapchat is pretty bad. I mean, I post on Snapchat, and not too much, just really like fucking pictures and clips and shit like that. Not a whole lot. I just don't see a lot of value in it, and I only do it to look at my friends' photos as well. So that's the only reason I'm on that one. I think TikTok shows me love on my tarot readings, so I don't want to trash TikTok too much. And if you go follow me at the Best Damn Podcast on TikTok. They show me love on my readings there, so I don't want to trash them. But dude, it really is very, very much garbage. You know, yeah, there we go. Somebody said it. TikTok's full of misinformation. It is. And that's the problem with a lot of conspiracy theorists. They just fucking regurgitate what they see on BitChute and Rumble, you know, and they take it as fact, bro. They take it as fact. And they talk about whatever stories at the top of the fucking news cycle. So they're literally feeding right into the mind control, whether they think they are or not. The news cycle is telling you, right, what to focus on, and your bitch ass is doing it. You're like, yes, master. You know, yes, master. I'm gonna go ahead and think about whatever you want me to think about. I'm gonna talk about whatever you want me to talk about. You have no free will. You know, none. And then you regurgitate all these fuckheads' ideas they didn't do their research. A lot of them use pictures that aren't even real or don't even go with the shit. It's like, and it makes us look so stupid. That's why I got away from conspiracies. You guys know, I was a conspiracy king. I got fucking internet famous off of conspiracies. You know, made a lot of money off of conspiracies. You know, before COVID and all that. After COVID, they started slamming everybody, and I seen how it went to total trash. I don't even watch conspiracy videos no more because they're that bad. There are a few people out there who still know what they're talking about and shit like that. And by all means, if they, you know, I did think about doing some Epstein shit, but we'll see. I'll probably have to do that over on Patreon. And if you guys didn't hear me at the beginning of the video, Sunday 8 p.m. there will be a Patreon show, guys. So join me over on Patreon, Sunday 8 p.m. Matter of fact, we're going to do the Epstein stuff this Sunday. I'll do the Revelation show public, I guess. We'll do the Revelation show public and do the Epstein stuff on Sunday. Good idea, John. Thank you. So, yeah, it's patreon.com, Best Damn Podcast Official. It won't be free this week. I'm going to do them weekly. Every Sunday now, I'm going to do a private show over on Patreon. The $25 tier is the one that you'll be able to watch every week. You'll have access to everything if you go 25 and up, right? The $10 ones, you'll still be able to watch all the stuff, but you may not have access to everything. So I'm just putting it out there. join me over on Patreon. That's like my new headquarters now, because of how much censorship. And I'm going to start doing spaces every Wednesday night. Spaces every Wednesday night. And I'm going to be posting on my social medias a new weekly schedule, and it's going to be a weekly schedule. You'll know the platform. You'll know the days. I'll do my multi-streams like this, the way I always do. I'm going to, I won't be doing very many early shows like this today. But we're going to, this is my year, bro. I'm telling you, I'm grinding hard. I'm doing my daily readings every day, and going to be doing the spaces and the Patreon and the multi-streams and all that, because I'm just sick of shitty content. I'm sick of watching shitty content. I'm sick of not having nothing to watch. So it's like, if nobody's going to get out here and speak truth, then we got to do it. We got to do it. Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to stand the fuck up and say something. If not, these dumbasses are going to, run themselves right into the ground. You see where, most fucking retarded conspiracy theorists of all time, it's discrediting any conspiracy to ever exist because of it. Not just that. When it comes to the spirituality, it's all the new age, love and light bullshit, complete garbage, no real value. Nobody that ever reads a book or has done any real study at all, they just are repeating trigger words and hot keywords that they hear online. Even when you watch like fucking tarot and astrology, these people haven't studied that. It's like, damn, man, I fucking practice that shit. I learned it all for like 2 years before I ever would even do a tarot video. I was like, I wanted to make sure I mastered my craft before I brought it out to the public. It's like, you're not doing nobody no fucking favors if you don't know what you're doing. You're doing more harm than good. You're doing more harm than good. And I'm not going to say that I didn't learn on the fly when I started years ago. I did. But I always spoke about what I knew. And I did my learning privately. Or I would do my learning on Discord or whatever with all of you guys, and we would have, it'd be open communication. And we're going to be doing that on Patreon and shit. Open communication. And on Spaces, open communication. So you guys are able to provide your opinion and ideas, and we can have a discourse back and forth, It's like, if we don't start creating something, quality communities out here, to kind of lead the way and pave the way, then these motherfucking idiots are going to run us all into the dirt, y'all. They are. They have. It's like, and if we put quality stuff out there, then they are forced themselves to do quality, because it'll show. Right? It'll show when you're doing something quality, and when you know what you're talking about, you know what you're doing, you've mastered your craft, and then somebody sees that, hears that, watches that, and then they see something that's not, you can tell. You can tell if somebody really knows what they're talking about, as opposed to somebody who doesn't. It's like, it's going to force other people to rise to the occasion. So we have to do something. I've sat back long enough, man. Hey, Kimberly F. Yeah, dude, she is the greatest moderator ever, Kimberly. Seriously, you are the greatest moderator ever. Mist, Mr. Dragon, True Spreader, Ike Remotely, Anonymal. Is that what it is? Thank you. Higher Mind 1111, D-Boy in the house. I appreciate all you guys, man. I really do. It's like we're at a really unique time. Like, I can't believe we've been doing this so long. What, 7 years? 7 years? I've been booted off of every platform and came back 100 times. Damn, It's wild when you think about, like, all we've been through, all we've shared, and, like, where we're at now and where we were. Just, guys, it's been a wild fucking ride. It has been a wild ride. But, I mean, I wouldn't want to, I really, I want you guys to know I'm extremely grateful extremely grateful for getting the opportunity to have done this, for as long as I have. And I'm grateful for everybody who supports my content, donates, and buys subscriptions and tarot readings and all that, man. You guys are awesome. I appreciate that, man. Seriously. So, I think I'm going to wrap this one up. I didn't want to make it too long. I really wanted to just see if I got all the kinks worked out. It looks like I have. I think the streams went really fine. So, like I said, join me Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to get into the Epstein files. That's what we're going to do. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be a private show. So, you either donate and support in the month of January to get access, and I'll give you the link, or you join me over on Patreon, patreon.com, Best Damn Podcast Official, right? And it will be paid patrons only. So donate, support, or join me over on Patreon. Check out the Epstein Files this Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll be sending out all the links. Text 513-393-2396 or email therealbestdampodcast@gmail.com after you've donated if you don't join me over on Patreon. That way I can send you that link on Sunday, right? If I don't have a number or an email, don't get pissed at me and say, I donated. You didn't give me my link, John. Well, that's on you, bro. It's always been the same. I ain't never changed it. So, we'll send them out. If guys want to book a personal tarot reading, I still got a special going on. I'm doing it this weekend only, though, and I'm done. $33, right? For personal readings. And you can text 513-393-2396 or email therealbestdampodcast@gmail.com and set your reading up. If you don't book it this weekend, you will not get the discount. They normally start at $50, and that's still the cheapest reading you're going to find. But I'm doing the $33 special because I'm just trying to get it out there. I started the new dailies and all that again, so check me out over on TikTok, The Best Damn Podcast, Facebook, Instagram, @Best Damn Podcast, Twitter, The Real Best Damn. Wednesdays at 10 p.m., we'll be doing Twitter Spaces. Right? Sundays, 8 p.m., we'll be doing the private shows every week. And I'll set up, the multi-streams. I'll be posting the new show schedule, the weekly show schedule. I'm going to do 3 days a week. And we're going to be starting the Revelation series. I've already got the thumbnails and everything done. It's cool. We're going to dive into the book of Revelations and do a fucking deep dive. That will be the next live show you guys see. And I will be multi-streaming. It'll be out on all the platforms. So make sure to subscribe. Make sure to follow. And, if you see me going live, come join me. So make sure to hit that thumbs up and all that good stuff. And please comment. Let me know what you think. Thank you, each and every one of you guys, for joining me. I love you all. And I will see you next time. Y'all have an awesome, awesome weekend. Check out the weekend reads. It should be posted over on TikTok, Facebook, and I'll have it here on YouTube. Love you guys. See you soon. Peace. Join me Sunday.